There is a silent belief that shapes how we show up in the world. It doesn't scream. It whispers, "I'm not enough. I don't deserve this. I'll never measure up." This isn't just low self-esteem. It's a programmed limitation, a belief that silently governs how we act, what we pursue, and even what we allow ourselves to feel. This video explores one of the most deeply rooted, limiting beliefs, that of unworthiness. And unlike emotional suffering, which we feel acutely, beliefs like this often hide in plain sight. We don't question them, we live by them. But what if we could trace where they come from? Many beliefs of unworthiness begin early. A child ignored or criticized by a parent, a culture that values performance over presence, a school or work system that grades worth by productivity. Psychologists call these core beliefs, unconscious frameworks we adopt to make sense of the world. We adapt to survive. We behave to be loved. We shrink to stay safe. But survival is not thriving, and over time, this belief becomes the inner narrator that tells you, "You're not talented enough. You're not attractive enough. You're not spiritual enough to be chosen." Even success can feel fraudulent when this belief is buried underneath. Even when people praise us, we don't feel it, because the wound isn't in logic, it's in the subconscious. The belief of unworthiness can appear in different aspects of one's mind. 1. Self-worth and identity. I am fundamentally not enough. This is the most basic form of unworthiness, a core wound that says, who I am at my essence is lacking. It's not about what you do or how you look. It's a quiet, persistent belief that your mere existence is somehow flawed. It often forms in early childhood, especially when love was conditional, when affection came only after good behavior, achievement, or silence. For example, you walk into a room full of people and immediately feel like you don't belong. Not because anyone said anything, but because somewhere deep inside, you feel like you're not enough to take up space. 2. Morality and shame. I've done something wrong. I am something wrong. This belief ties unworthiness to morality, that your mistakes define you. It often grows from shame, especially when discipline as a child blurred the line between what you did was wrong and you are wrong. It can come from religious conditioning, trauma, or harsh criticism, and it lingers long after the moment has passed. For example, you make a small mistake at work, forget an email, miss a deadline, and instead of seeing it as a slip, your inner voice spirals. Why do I always mess things up? I'm such a failure. 3. Achievement and validation. I must prove my worth. This belief says your value is tied to what you produce, that your accomplishments, your grades, your job title are what give you meaning. Often, high performers struggle with this the most, because no matter how much they achieve, the goalpost moves. The applause never fills the void. For example, you get a promotion, something you've wanted for years, but instead of joy, you feel a hollow relief, quickly replaced by anxiety. Now I have to prove I deserve this. 4. Appearance and body image. I'm not lovable unless I look a certain way. This form of unworthiness ties your value to how your physical appearance is perceived. It can come from media, culture, or even family comments, little digs about weight, skin, or attractiveness that leave lasting wounds. It often shows up as comparison, self-criticism, or obsessive body checking. For example, you look in the mirror and fixate on everything wrong, a blemish, a fold of skin, a perceived imperfection, as if those flaws somehow disqualify you from being loved or accepted. 5. Expression and voice. What I say doesn't matter. This belief is about self-expression. It's the internalized idea that your thoughts, your feelings, your creativity aren't worth sharing. It often comes from being dismissed, interrupted, or mocked in childhood. Over time, it silences you, not just in conversation, but in art, relationships, even desire. For example, you have an idea in a meeting, but you hesitate. You tell yourself it's not good enough, or that someone else will say it better, and so you stay silent. 6. Spiritual and existential beliefs. I'm not chosen. I'm not special. I don't matter in the grand scheme of things. This is the metaphysical version of unworthiness. It arises when people feel spiritually disconnected from the universe, from God, from their own soul. It's the quiet ache that maybe you're not one of the chosen ones, that there's no higher purpose for you, that you were left out of some divine plan. For instance, you see others seem called, living with passion or clarity, and you wonder, why not me? Am I just invisible to the universe? As you can see, we like to think we're in control, that our thoughts, our goals, our values drive our choices. But the truth, much of our behavior is shaped by silent beliefs we don't even know we have. Not the beliefs we say we hold, but the ones embedded in our subconscious. The ones you don't think, but live. And for many of us, the deepest of these beliefs is this: I'm not worthy. Not worthy of love, of ease, of being seen, of taking up space. And what's tricky is, you might not even realize you believe this. You might say, I know I'm good enough. I believe in myself. I've done the work. But beliefs don't just live in thoughts. They live in patterns. So look closer. Do you sabotage things that are going well? Do you deflect compliments? Do you overwork to prove yourself? Or underachieve so no one expects anything? Do you stay silent when you want to speak? Or say yes when you mean no? That's not simply a personality quirk. That's programming at a very deep level. Psychologists estimate that up to 95% of our behavior is driven by the subconscious mind. This isn't about denial or weakness. It's how the brain works. The subconscious forms early, usually in childhood. It stores emotional memories and patterns long before you had language to explain them. And once it's programmed, it runs automatically, like a script. This is why you can affirm your worthiness all day long, but still end up choosing relationships, jobs, and situations that confirm your unworthiness. The subconscious isn't logical, it's familiar. And what's familiar becomes safe, even if it hurts. In neuroscience, this is tied to what's called predictive coding. Your brain is constantly anticipating what will happen next, based not just on data from the world, but on internal models formed by past experience. If your early experience taught you that you're not good enough, not lovable, not safe being seen, your brain will literally filter reality through that lens. Even success can feel threatening because it violates the model. This is why trauma survivors often feel more at home in chaos than in peace. Why people raised in criticism feel uneasy with praise. Why love can feel foreign, even if it's what you crave. These beliefs don't just live in the mind, they live in the body. Your nervous system stores threat patterns. So when you try to expand beyond unworthiness, to speak up, receive love, take a bold step forward, your body might interpret it as danger. You feel anxious, foggy, frozen, tired, or even self-sabotage. And then your mind says, see, I told you you weren't ready. But that's not truth. That's a loop. So what can you do? Awareness is the first portal. Not just intellectual awareness, but emotional honesty. Where am I living out a story I didn't consciously choose? Where am I playing small to feel safe? Where do my actions betray my declared beliefs? Because until we see it, we can't shift it. And when you do, when you start to question the old script, you make space for a new programming which serves you better, not by force, not by perfection, but by slowly teaching your system. I am safe to belong. I am safe to expand. I am worthy of being seen, not because I earned it, but because I exist. If this episode resonated with you, If you've ever felt held back by that quiet voice that says you're not enough, then you're not alone. Subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. Subscribe, reflect, rewire. We're just getting started.